Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back. I'm going to putting a new feature here on Crisco's Corner. I call it my bull detector. And I'm going to play a few clips here, maybe comment a little bit concerning the administration and how it handles the press and the immigration issue. I should say illegal immigration issue. So let's see how you like it. And I call it my new bull detector, and let's see.
Of India was in the Oval Office on Friday afternoon, I do believe, and before the American press came in, the Indian media, that outlet was inside, and this is what was picked up on camera. Just watch here.
What we're going to do is bring in the press. The Indian press is much better behaved than the American press, and I think, with your permission, we should not answer questions because they won't ask any questions on point.
Okay, so all true and all incredibly revealing.
Now, that's a little loud. The other ones aren't as loud. But the thing of it is, here's the funny part. Benito Mussolini said, when business and media merge with government, that by definition is fascism. So they're not so gung-ho on our president. When I say our, with sadness, our current president, and they're not kissing his behind and believe every word he says. So now they're shocked.
To the leader of the free world taking questions. It is tradition, 2 and 2. Everybody that worked in the Obama administration, they know that. That, to me, is really, really upsetting, especially when you want India to continue to be this democracy.
Very quickly, what do you think about Kamala Harris? She's supposed to be out front on these issues. She has.
Now, this is, to me, is the height of hypocrisy. MSNBC and CNN are part of the Democrat Party, the new progressive Democrat Party. And I find this criticism coming out to be absolutely amazing to me. Or is it just maybe if we look like we're being fair, then they'll get off our backs for being anti-Trump all the time. Remember, they did three segments over a week concerning how many scoops of ice cream President Trump had. These people are nuts. But now I'll bet you silently they're wishing, you know what? I'll bet you they are. Without even looking it up and trying to find out. They're all saying, you know what? We were better off with Trump as far as reporting goes.
It's not been. What's your takeaway from that?
Well, interestingly, they released a readout this week between her and a member of the cabinet, Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, and they talked about the incident of the Border Patrol on horseback who aggressively confronted the Haitian migrants. So it was an example of the White House showing she was connected to the issue in some way, but she has repeatedly said that she's focusing on the root causes of migration and that the border is a separate matter. What we are learning and seeing in real time is that you really can't separate the two.
Yeah, you can't separate the two because you caused them. What's the underlying reason for the illegal immigration? Because we'll give them everything. They step on U.S. soil, the chances of them getting sent back are damn near zero. They get free housing, free medical, and free food. Gee, I wonder why they're coming. You need a fact-finding tour for that, you idiots?
Yeah, I really cannot. This has been a problem from the beginning of this administration thing.
Why didn't you stop them from coming into the country?
Now, I have to give double warning on this one. Alejandro Mayorkas, he is the head secretary of Department of Homeland Security. I wish I had a double detector. I really do, but I don't. Listen to this nonsense.
We did. We encountered them. They assembled in that one location in Del Rio, Texas, and we applied the laws. We applied the public health law under the CDC's authority, and we applied immigration law.
My question is, why did you allow them in the country in the first place? Why didn't you build forgive me, a wall or a fence to stop them from walking in this flood of people coming across the dam. It looks like a highway that allows them to cross the Rio Grande.
It is the policy of this administration. We do not agree with the building of the wall.
But do we have enough resources down here to deal with the surge that's currently happening? Because we thought this was seasonal. Turned out it's not seasonal this year.
So we have an incredible ability to deploy resources to meet the challenges that we face. And
controversy about the images of border agents on horseback addressing migrants at the border. Take a listen to what President Biden said about the investigation into those agents on horseback and how they treated the border, and what you said about that investigation into that.
I promise you those people will pay. They will be, there's an investigation underway now, and there will be consequences. There will be consequences.
I will not prejudge the facts. I do not in any way want to impair the integrity of the investigative process.
But, Mr. Secretary, you also said that the images, quote, horrified us. How can DHS claim to have an independent investigation into these Border Patrol agents when the president says, quote, those people will pay, and you say the images horrified us?
Jake, I think it's quite clear that what the images suggest horrified the American public. That is quite different than learning what actually happened.
Now, did you hear that? Horrified, the images. But that is quite different from what actually happened. And we're going to investigate that. And there is the fundamental, I'll call it mental disorder of progressives and now Democrats. The Progressive Democrat Party, I'll call it. The reality has nothing to do with anything. What it looks like, what it feels like, it's what's important. If I want to be a woman tomorrow, whether I look like one or I really am one, is immaterial. Whether those agents use whips on those people is immaterial. It only care about what it looks like. What it looks like is more important. And that's been their mantra from the beginning. Trump is the polar opposite. If he cared what the hell it looked like, he wouldn't say the things he said. But his policy spoke for him. What the reality was happening on the ground. And nothing against Jake here. CNN is #1 contributor. Now that they're in the same organization as the Progressive Democratic Party, they got nobody to blame but themselves. And you look at the look on his face, Jake here. He looks really pained, and he ought to be. Because I wonder and truly the ones that aren't cult members, maybe Jake isn't, are looking in the mirror in the morning and go, you know, we're responsible for this indirectly. We gave cover to the Biden administration, the Biden when he was running for president. We gave cover, and look how it turned out.
Determining the facts, and the fact determinations will be made in an independent investigation by the Office for Professional Responsibility. And the facts that are adduced, the facts that are determined, will drive the outcome. Nothing less and nothing more.
Some of the
what
initial
those images,
descriptions.
but Jake, what those images suggest, what they appeared to portray, was horrifying.
What they appeared to portray was horrifying. The press and the Progressive Democrats do the same thing with police and unarmed black men. What it appeared to portray was horrifying. To be damned with what really happened and what the facts are. And that is the mental disorder of progressive Democrats in a nutshell.
And that, I think, deserves attention. That is quite different than fact determinations. And I will tell you, I served as a federal prosecutor for 12 years, and we conducted independent investigations despite what appearances might have been and the public outcry about them.
But that's the thing. Some of the initial descriptions of those images.
Look how pained Jake looks.
Were just patently false. There's now video out there that provides more context. Having seen the video, are you certain that there was actually wrongdoing?
I am going to let those investigators make that determination, and then that determination will drive the outcome of the investigation.
Can the Border Patrol count on you and President Biden, who has said the people will pay, to come to a determination based on the facts and not based on Twitter outrage?
They sure can. And let me say something about that, Jake, because I've worked very closely with the men and women of U.S. Customs and Border Protection for many years, many years. And they are heroic, what they do. And I saw their heroism displayed in Del Rio, Texas, last Monday when I was there on the ground. And that is emblematic of who they are, their commitment to this country, their talent, and tireless dedication to mission. I'm incredibly proud to work alongside them.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had a CYA alert.
Well, as you know, a lot of those agents on horseback, they're on horse because there are no roads in so many parts of the border, and a lot of them have saved the lives of migrants trying to cross the river. The nice words you said about them, you should probably share with President Biden, not just with me today. Thank you so much.
Of the 30,000 Haitians who came across the border into Del Rio, how many did your department test for COVID?
So we have strict COVID testing protocols that we apply across the board. We test, isolate, and quarantine unaccompanied children. We work with nonprofit organizations to test families.
You notice something? He didn't answer the question. Now, I'm not a big Chris Wallace fan, but he asked him a direct question, and he got this. Well, you see what the meter says.
Those who are in ICE custody are tested, isolated, and quarantined. Those who are expelled under the Title 42 Public Health Authority are returned immediately. They are not placed in immigration court proceedings, and those we do not test, but because they are returned immediately.
But your own...
You ever see the look on his face? Is it just me? Or does he look a little stoned? He has that smirk like the old Harry Krishners used to have at the airports, that permanent smile like you're a cult member. It's creepy.
Department's Inspector General said that your testing policy and the failure to test a lot of people who end up in this country, that you rely on local or state officials and a lot of people don't get tested, has put communities in this country at risk.
We concurred with those recommendations. We made improvements. That is also nothing new. That is exactly why we have an independent review of our operations to see where we can make improvements, where we can strengthen our processes, and that is exactly what we did here.
Okay. According to internal documents, your department is now tracking a lot more people, including Haitians, who were on their way up from South America, Central America, to cross the border into this country. I want to put up the numbers. 20,000 Haitians in Colombia, 3,000 in Peru, and 1,500 in Panama. In May, the Biden administration extended temporary protected status for the 150,000 Haitians already living in the new U.S. And now, as you've said, you've released another more than 12,000 into the country. Our next guest, Texas Governor Abbott, traveled to Del Rio, to the site of that bridge, and the 15,000 people huddled under the bridge this week. And here's what he had to say. Take a look.
When you have an administration that has abandoned any pretense of securing the border and securing our sovereignty, you see the onrush of people like what we saw walking across this dam that is right behind me.
Before we get on with that, I'm still a pretty good fan of Governor Abbott. But what I do criticize him for, my understanding is there are 19,000 National Guard members in the state of Texas. He sent down 1,000 to help. He should have sent down all 19,000, declared an emergency, and had the National Guard stop these people from coming in. And if the Border Patrol and the National Guard get into it, then they get into it. And he didn't do it. He just needs to grow a set.
This administration created a magnet. Haven't you given the Haitians, and a million more immigrants who you had an encounter with since Joe Biden came into office, haven't you given them a reason to believe there's a reasonable chance if they come into this country, they'll end up being released into the country and have months or perhaps years to stay here?
Chris, this is nothing new. We've seen this type of irregular migration many, many times throughout the years. I don't know if Governor Abbott said the same thing in 2019 when there were more than 1 million people encountered at the southern border.
It has gotten worse. Just the statistics of your own department show that the flood of people coming illegally across the border has gotten worse under the Biden administration.
So I wouldn't call it a flood, Chris, if I may. But we have seen large numbers of individuals encountered at our border making a claim for asylum, for humanitarian relief, which is a statute, which is a law.
See how delighted he is? Humanitarian. If they have a fear of going back to their home countries, and the vast majority of these Haitians did not come from Haiti. They came from South America. They've been living for a number of years. He's got a smirk on his face. Their plan is to flood the United States with new immigrants. They're losing their voting base. Instead of trying to convince the other 75 million that didn't vote for them last year, trying to persuade them that some policies and compromise on some, they're not going to compromise. They're going to double down, and they're going to let in millions. And they're putting them in red states. This is a plan. He's got that smirk. We found a loophole, or at least the appearance of legality. And we got them. And we're going to do it, and we don't give a good damn whether you like it or not.
Of the United States, that individuals can make a claim of fear of persecution by reason of their membership in a particular social group. That's what the law provides.
Yeah, see? That's the point. That's what the law provides. So they have NGOs and lawyers talking to all these people saying, hey, lie. Don't say you're here for a better life or to be part of the United States and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Lie and say you're in fear of going back. That way we can let you in and give you an appearance, or maybe not give you an appearance, at least let you in the country. And that's what they're doing, and they've always done it. There's video after video after video after video of NGO lawyers working pro bono to help them fill out paperwork and lie in court and lie when they get in that they're afraid for their lives. Well, they're not. They just want a better life for themselves, which I can't blame them. But you can't have economic criteria for immigration, or the country wouldn't last a year, and they know that. They would rather destroy the country and stay in power than just try to compromise. Try to reason with the other 75 million that hate them, and they don't care. And they're going to flood this country with them, and low-income people are going to be hurt the worst, especially minority low-income, and they don't give a damn. We've got a new electoral base. We have a new voter base because we can cheat the system. Isn't that marvelous? Until the next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.